Professionals of the Society of Petroleum Engineers Ghana session. In our first session, we explored how women are shaping the future of the energy sector by breaking barriers and building lasting legacies. Today, we move the conversation forward and focus on accelerating women's growth in the energy industry, from visibility to velocity. While visibility is an important step, the progress comes when visibility translates into opportunity, into leadership and impact. Our discussion today will explore how women can accelerate their growth and how organizations can create pathways that enable more women to lead while evolving in the energy industry. So you are all welcome once again. And I'm privileged to be your moderator for today. I go by the name Ochiajoa Sampoma. And we have our panelists with us. We have Madam Judith Ampoma Owusu, lead petroleum geochemist from the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and Engineer Peace Agambia from Ghana National Gas Company, who serves as the operation engineer. Once again, you're all welcome. This is our program outline for today, and we'll look at our house rules. So I'd like to admonish us all to mute our microphones when we join, so we do not have any interruptions from the backgrounds of our people. And then please, in case we get to the session where you need to speak, if you have any questions, you'll be called to speak. So you kindly use the raise hand icon to connect. And then all questions and contributions and suggestions will also be made in the chat box. So if you need to talk, you don't need to unmute your microphone. You can just put all suggestions or contributions or reactions in the chat box. Thank you. All right. So we want to look at some safety tips for women who work alone at night. I mean, it doesn't apply to just women, but then to everyone as well, to our men as well. Now, we know that over the past few years, we have, not over the past year, but as young professionals in the industry, we go to work and we sometimes close late at night. No matter where you live or how safe you think the locality is, never underestimate the likelihood of danger, because you never know when you walk home alone. Sometimes the nights can get very uncomfortable if you do not have a car and if you are alone. So sometimes we leave the office late in the evening due to maybe the fact that we don't finish our works on time or there's extra to do at work. And perhaps where offices are located, it can be dark and quiet. And if it's not within a residential area, you find yourself in a locality where people are not really around. So sometimes we have to, let's say, walk from the office to the bus station to pick a car. Or maybe it can also apply when during at dawn, those of us who are very interested in fitness, we decide to go on some morning joggings. So we cannot admit that there are such circumstances that can feel slightly unsafe. So here are a few tips for us. One, we are advised to not listen to music so we don't get distracted and we can monitor our environment very well when we are walking. And then we are admonished to also take a known route. If you are not familiar with a certain route, do not take that route. And you can inform your parents, your spouses, your friends, your siblings that you're on your way. Just give them a heads up. Maybe I've closed from work. I'm now leaving the office, something of the sort. And you can also inform your parents, your spouses, your siblings, your friends, anyone you're comfortable about sharing your location with. Sometimes you can just share the info about the taxi you picked or the Bolt or the Uber. Or personally, I like to share my live location with my family or my friends if I find myself quite uncomfortable when I'm in an uncomfortable situation. And then we should also make sure that at least we have internet connection or call credit on our cell phones so that in case there's any emergency, you can just place a quick call. And you should also make sure that you always have some physical cash on you just in case of emergencies. Also ensure that you have comfortable shoes on. For us women, I mean, you're walking late at night and you're in heels. It's not too safe. We advise that at least you are comfortable. If it's heels, wear comfortable heels so that in case you need to take to your heels, you can save yourself quite quickly. And then we advise that we always try as much as possible to let someone accompany us. We must not walk alone. If it happens that there's nothing you can do about it, that's okay. But it's advisable that when you're walking at uncommon hours during the day, you find yourself walking in pairs. So thank you. These are some safety tips from SPE Safe Start. Thank you. All right. So last week on the 8th of March, 2026, we happened to celebrate our International Women's Day, and we looked at some women in our industry, some trailblazers we have. So today we are going to look at a few people. So we know that our theme for this year's International Women's Day was Give to Gain. So we're empowering and supporting each other to succeed and drive progress for women everywhere. And we have here three wonderful trainers. Elon Bansa Charlie, PMP. So she is a senior project and strategy leader with over 15 years of experience delivering complex and high value energy and infrastructure Africa, Europe, and Asia. So Engineer Eunice France as well is an integrated active planning manager at Talo Oil with expertise in interface management and operation support with experience in project management, integrated activity planning, and cost engineering. We also have upstream oil and gas sector specializing in exploration, passionate about advancing women's leadership and equity within the energy industry. So here are some trailblazers we have today. So last week we happened to look at all these amazing trailblazers we had. We celebrated them during our International Women's Day. All right. So I'd like to call upon Ms. Ifa Akoto Osafo Bediako, our Deputy Chair for the Young Professionals Committee, to give us the opening address. Ms. Ifa, over to you.
All right, Ajwa, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me perfectly well.
Yes, please, I can.
All right, thank you. You are doing a good job so far. We appreciate that. So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. As Ajwa rightly said, 8th March is dedicated to women internationally. And the Young Professionals Committee decided to celebrate women in the energy sector for this month. So to all the ladies who have joined in, happy International Women's Month to you all. And the International Women's Day theme for 2026, which is Give to Gain, emphasizes on the power of generosity and support for each other. Now, giving is not subtraction, it's intentional multiplication. So then I ask our ladies, what would you give to gain? Every single day will present an opportunity for you to give yourself, your resources, your time for the betterment of another. And in turn, you will gain empowerment. Last week, Thursday, we were honored to have Madam Celestina Yabakisi and Engineer Patricia Anko speak on the theme Empowering Women in Energy, Breaking Barriers and Building Legacy. Today, our panelists, for our panelists, we are honored to have been graced with the presence of Miss Judith Ampoma Owusu. She's a lead petroleum geochemist at GMPC, who happens to be the president of PELA, that's PELA, which stands for Petroleum Ladies. It's an association of ladies who work at GMPC. Also on board is Engineer Peace Agambiak. She's an operations engineer at Ghana Gas with over 9 years experience in the energy sector. She has mentored quite a number of young professionals, and she's also a thriving businesswoman. We appreciate you both for accepting our invitation. Today's theme focuses on accelerating women's growth in the energy sector, how the young female professional, after gaining access in the industry, can fast-track her progress and have a promising career. Mind you, it is not only for our ladies. The gentlemen can also take a cue from this. And who else can give us the needed guidance other than Miss Judith Amponsa and Engineer Peace, who both have quite a lot of experience? Our gentlemen who are connected, you are not forgotten. I'm sure today's discussion will be of great help to us all. Kindly stay glued to your computers or phone and enjoy the rest of the webinar. We would appreciate you sharing the link with other friends and colleagues so that they join in as well. So I will implore us all that please share with your friends, share with colleagues so that they can also join and be a part of this discussion. Thank you very much. Adra, over to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sakoto Safobidiako. We appreciate you giving us such a wonderful opening address. Thank you so much. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome once again to part 2 of our Women in Energy panel discussion series. I'd like to use this opportunity to thank the Young Professionals Committee for giving me the opportunity to be a moderator for today. In our previous session, just as Ms. Ifwa mentioned, we explored the importance of recognizing women's contributions and breaking barriers within the industry. So today, we want to shift the conversation forward from awareness to action. Our focus now is how we can accelerate the growth and advancement of women in the energy industry. To our panelists' profile, just like Ms. Ifwa rightly introduced, we have with us today Ms. Judith Ampoma Owusu, who happens to be a lead petroleum geochemist at the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, and Engineer Peace Agambiak, who happens to be with Ghana Gas Company Limited. So this is the profile of Ms. Judith Ampoma Owusu. She is a petroleum geochemist with over a decade of experience in Ghana's energy sector. Originally from Taka, her curiosity about national resources led her to pursue a BSc in chemistry at the University of Cape Coast and an MSc in petroleum geochemistry at Newcastle University, where she researched the organic geochemistry of shales in Ghana's Western Tano Basin. She currently serves as asset head for the East Cape 3 Points and GHWV04 blocks at GNPC, leading exploration and production activities that support Ghana's energy security. Internationally, she has worked as a consultant to the International Seabed Authority and collaborated with JOGMEC, contributing expertise in geochemical data interpretation, basin modeling, and marine resource exploration. She is a recognized thought leader and has spoken at global forums, including the World Geospatial Congress, and moderated discussions on AI-driven innovations in resource exploration. She is also an honorary lecturer and an active mentor through the Petroleum Ladies Association pillar, promoting STEM careers and for young women. Beyond her professional achievements, she's also a mother, embodying leadership, mentorship, and resilience in both career and family life. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Madam Judith Ampoma Owusu from the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. Can we please hear from you briefly, Madam Ampoma Owusu?
Hi, Sapoma. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Ms. Judith. Good afternoon.
And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We are privileged to have you. Thank you for joining us. To our second panelist, we have Engineer Peace Agambiak, who is an oil and gas professional with exactly 10 years of experience, primarily in the downstream and midstream sectors of the industry. She holds certifications in process engineering, instrumentation and control, project management, and a Master of Business Technology Management. She began her career at Tema Oil Refinery, where she served as a chemical technologist and field engineer, gaining practical experience in refinery operations. She later worked as a liaison officer at Nugenix Company Limited, where she supported industry coordination and operational activities. Prior to her current role as operations engineer at Ghana National Gas Company Limited, she served as Gamma Petroleum and Energy Services as operations and marketing manager, contributing to both operational efficiency and business development. Beyond her professional career, Engineer Peace is passionate about entrepreneurship and mentorship. She has played a role in helping start and manage businesses and runs her own fashion clothing line. She is also actively involved in mentoring young people in engineering, supporting the development and help me welcome Engineer Peace Agambiak, Operations Engineer from the Ghana National. Hello, Engineer Peace. Can we please hear briefly from you? Could you please hear me?
Yes, Ajua. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me. Hello, Ajua. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Please, can I be heard? Engineer Gambia.
Yes, please.
Thank you for being with us, Engineer Peace Agambiak. We are privileged to have you here. We would like to move on to our panel discussion. Please let me know if you can hear me so we can move on.
Yes, please.
Please.
We can hear you.
All right. Thank you all so much. All right, to begin with, I'd like to present our first question. So over the past few years, we have seen increasing visibility of women in the energy sector. In your view, my panelists, how do we move from visibility to real opportunity and career advancement for women? I'd like to start with Madam Judith Ampoma.
Thank you very much, Ajua Sapoma. I think the first thing is to say that the increased visibility of women in the energy industry is a positive step. I mean, we've come a long way. When young women go for secondments, when you go for attachments and you go to conferences and you see women on the panel, is encouraging. It gives you hope that there's a future for you. But then again, we'll say that visibility alone is not enough. The question that we need to ask ourselves is that, are women being given the opportunities that will actually shape their careers? A lot of times, companies only employ women because they are supposed to have a woman in a particular department. So they just grab one woman and just slap you in the department, and you may be there and your talent may not be nurtured. Women are supposed to be given access, given the opportunities to lead technical projects. Sometimes you are in a company and when there's opportunity for people to go to the field, it's only given to the men because they think they are protecting you. They feel you are fragile in that the women should stay back and work on the data. But no, that's not what we are looking at. We sat in the same classrooms, we read the same programs. Maybe sometimes we're even better than them. So we hope that women are given opportunities to lead technical projects and be technically involved in field work. Because when you are involved in the field work, that is when you become a key person in decision making. Those are the experiences that will really build your confidence and your credibility. And also, I believe that once women are given those opportunities, we must also step forward confidently because a lot of times we also doubt ourselves, especially when you come into a space where there are so many men and you are the only woman there. When the opportunity is given, sometimes you are a bit scared to step forward. It's important for women or for young girls to also believe in themselves when they are given the opportunity and step forward confidently to contribute your ideas and also demonstrate your competence, because you are more than enough. So visibility, yes, will open the door, but then performance and consistency will move you forward. Yeah. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ms. Sampoma, for those insightful views. Would like to hear from Engineer Peace as well. Engineer Peace, you may
Thank
take
you
the
for this question. I think my co-panelists has already said a lot, but the little I will want to add is that we should create a clear career path on a both individual and then industrial level. This is because when organizations make it clear and very transparent on the growth structure, then women are able to structure their personal plans and visions in alignment to it, knowing that, oh, if I work here for this number of years, if I get these certifications and this knowledge, I'll be able to rise up to this level. Most of the times in organizations, some of these things are not properly communicated, or even if they are, we are not really given that same leverage. So we should be able to do that on both an individual and then organizational level. And we should be able to go ahead with a lot of mentorship and sponsorship, because as my colleague rightfully said, most of the times women, we doubt ourselves, especially when you go into a male-dominated environment where cultural bias and then workplace culture expects you as a woman to behave in a particular way. Meanwhile, the actual skills and then attitude you need to triumph in that particular industry is contrary to the workplace culture that is there. When we have the right kind of mentorship, when we have the right kind of sponsorship, it will go a long way to encourage a lot of women who are already in the industry to be able to rise up. Lastly, I would like to say that as women, everywhere you find yourself, you should know that it isn't just about you. You are leaving a legacy for the next lady that will come after you. And so wherever you are, you should do whatever you do very well and be really good at it, so that another woman will not be denied an opportunity because of you. Over the weekend, I was having a discussion with a brother in the industry where he was lamenting that there's a particular office where there are 4 women, 1 guy, and whenever any field work comes up, it is the guy who does everything. And that if he, the guy, is given a chance, he will not allow women to be employed in that particular department. And I was very sad to hear that, because a decision is being taken blocking a lot of women. Why? Because some other women feel like, I'm a lady, I'm not supposed to be on the field. Or maybe your boss tells you that, oh, you're a lady, don't stress yourself, and you listen to it, forgetting that you are setting a precedence on which decisions are going to be taken, which might actually affect the next woman coming. And so as long as you find yourself in a particular industry, play your part and play it well, so that other women would have opportunities after you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, please, for everything you shared. Thank you, Ms. Judith Ampoma, for all you shared. Thank you for making us understand that as women, we must have a clear career path and also believe in ourselves. And we should have it at the back of our minds that wherever we find ourselves, we whatever we find our hands doing to the best of our abilities, because we are pace setters for other ladies who come after us. So other ladies are also not denied of the opportunities because of certain things we did while we had the opportunity. Thank you so much for all those insightful perspectives. We would like to know, for young professionals entering the industry today, just like you have mentioned, my panelists, that we need to have a career path, we need to believe in ourselves. What skills, what competencies, what experiences are most critical for women who aspire to grow quickly into leadership roles in the energy industry? I would like to start with Ms. Judith.
Okay, so for young professionals entering into the industry, especially those who want to grow their career in leadership roles, I think maybe these three things are the things that you should focus on. Your technical competence is the first one. The most important thing in every woman's career is your technical competence. You don't want anyone to say that, oh, she was promoted because she's a woman, or she was promoted because she was promiscuous, or she was promoted because she's the director's daughter. It's possible you may be the director's daughter, that's your privilege, but your technical competence is important, because in the industry, people must trust your leadership when they trust your technical expertise. It's very important to invest in mastering your field. Which field are you interested in? Make sure you train yourself in that field. Get yourself secondment and attachment, practical experience. Know what you are talking about. When you speak in the room, you must command the room. If you are speaking to people, you must command it. You must know what you're talking about. Don't say things that people will doubt you. So your technical competence is the number one key. That's the most important one. The second one I'll talk about is curiosity. In this industry, it's ever evolving. New things come in every day. And people who grow faster are those who keep learning, those who keep upgrading themselves, not just within their discipline, but across. I'm a petroleum geochemist. I started with chemistry, but I ended up doing a lot of geology. I do a bit of sedimentology. You do petrophysics. I need to understand what the petroleum engineers also do. So you have to be curious in the industry. As I said, it's ever evolving. And in the energy sector, unlike the mining sector, where a lot of things are mechanical, here a lot of things are automated. So every day there's a new upgrade in the system. Every day there's a new software. Every day there's a new way of doing things. If you are not curious enough to be updated on the current trends, you'll be left behind. The third thing I would like to talk about is communication. We must learn to communicate. A lot of our science students do not know how to communicate at all. So if you come to the real world in the industries, you see people who complain that those who even did HR, those who did they are the ones leading the organization, or they are the ones managing. They are the ones managing. But it's because we, the technical people, we don't know how to sell our craft. We don't know how to sell ourselves. So you do your powerful modules, you put your powerful technical presentation together. But when you are put in the room to sell to investors or to sell to management on what you've done, you'll be fumbling, or you'll be mentioning a lot of huge technical terms that nobody understands. If nobody understands, nobody buys into it. So we need to learn how to communicate. As science students, we don't know how to communicate. Let's learn how to communicate. Because I'm a geochemist, I'll speak more of this geoscientists. If you're a geoscientist and then you have prospecting leads, you've done your models, you've seen where the oil is, and you're not able to communicate to a finance person that if you go and drill at this particular location, you're going to get these volumes of hydrocarbon. Who is going to invest in you? Nobody invests in you. Nobody will mind you. You'll be the most intelligent person, but you'll be sitting in your own corner. Nobody know you. So I would encourage every person to embrace challenging opportunities, be curious, learn how to communicate, and then build on your technical competencies. That will make you stand out wherever you are. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ms. Judith. Wow, thank you so much, Ms. Judith, for reminding us that as women, we must build our technical competencies and be curious enough to keep learning. We'd like to hear from Engineer Peace. What do you also have to say?
In addition to what my co-panelist said, I would like to talk about the fact that as young professionals, you should be able to build on your human relationships. You should be able to develop soft skills because at the end of the day, you can be as good as you can at your job, but it is your co-human being you are going to relate with. To be able to even have meetings, to be able to even put on proposals, to be able to get them approved, you need people. And so you should build on your networks, you should build on your soft skills. You should also be able to diversify yourself, knowing very well that the energy industry is a very diverse and vast industry. You work with people with different skills across board, and you must be able to communicate in their language. You cannot be good at everything, but don't be a novice, because at the end of the day, it will become very difficult for you to sell yourself. And if you are unable to sell yourself, nobody would really want to give you any position because they feel like you wouldn't be able to handle it. And I would also want to add just a little bit that as engineers, we should try to get a little bit of financial understanding and then a little bit of strategic management and management skills in general, because it gets to a point in time in your career that you are making decisions, especially the topic we are discussing is about advancing your career. You are making decisions, you are growing, you are looking forward to being part of policy making. You cannot do these things by sitting down and saying that from a process view, they'll tell you that, okay, you can go there and go and design aspirin ISIS and go and sit there and talk about it. No, you can't go and sit there and tell them that, oh, the pressure and temperature of this and this is that. No. At the end of the day, you are having technical discussions. You are having discussions that have to do with managing a facility. And in the oil industry, profit and money is what runs the industry. And so you should be able to understand some of these languages to make yourself very marketable and prepared for advancement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Peace. That was so informative, so educative. We must learn how to build that human relation and learn how to communicate, learn how to divest, and it's not all just about engineering. We must learn to understand how to manage people and to be involved in policy making. Thank you so much for all you. So to our next question, in the introductory phase, I think with the first question, you happened to talk a little bit about mentorship and sponsoring. So now I want to know mentorship. So in your experience as a woman in the energy industry leading, how can mentorship and sponsorship be structured in ways that truly accelerate women's progress in the industry? I'd like to start with Engineer Peace.
Okay, to be able to achieve this, I think that you should be able to establish formal mentorship programs in organizations where experienced mentors are paired with mentees and their progress should be tracked. Because in most organizations, you find out that they assign you with a mentor, but that mentor doesn't really track your progress. They are not really able to understand your personality, your passion, what you are really good at, and then where your flaws come in order to be able to nurture you to grow. And if organizations are able to do this, not only would it help deal with the many challenges that young professionals face in this industry, but it will actually encourage a lot of women and it will propel us to develop and grow quickly. For example, if a new employee comes in a technical field, after spending about 2 months in the industry, in the company, your management should be able to know that, okay, this person has a passion for, let me say, mechanical, but maybe they were assigned in to a different department. That transfer should be made. And a mechanical person who has experience should be able to mentor this person, find out the challenges they are facing. As a lady, what are your setbacks? Oh, are you struggling with how to combine career with womanhood? Are you struggling with how to work with men and adapt in the environment? Some of these things should be dealt with. And by so doing, it will go a long way to help women grow.
For establishing the fact that there's the need for formal mentorship. And not just that, but we should be able to track and assess the progress of the mentor-mentee relationships we have in our industries. What would you have to say, Ms. Judith?
Yeah, okay, thank you, Sapoma. And my co-panelist has said a lot. In fact, she even spoke a lot about the mentorship in her initial submission. But mentorship is something that we talk about a lot for a good reason. A good mentor can help you navigate your career, share insights from their experience, and sometimes even help you to see possibilities that you haven't even considered. But then sponsorship is key. Sponsorship is extremely important because as a mentor advises you, a sponsor would actually advocate for you. Sponsorship is when you are not around and there are some people in a room, what somebody says about you. Because you may not always be around to speak for yourself or defend yourself. You actually need an advocate. That is where sponsorship comes in. You need a sponsor. So the mentorship is important. You need mentorship, but sponsorship is key because somebody needs to advocate for you. Somebody needs to talk for you. A sponsor is the person in the meeting who says, I think she'll be good for this opportunity. I think Ajua is the best candidate for this opportunity. That is a sponsor. And it's important and imperative that every young person gets a sponsor. The kind of support that will be incredibly powerful. For mentorship to really work, okay, it needs to be intentional and consistent. It shouldn't just be an occasional conversation. No, you only reach out to your mentor when you need something. No, it shouldn't be the case. It has to be intentional. You have to create the friendship. You have to create the relationship between yourself and your mentor. It should also involve real guidance, honest feedback, and support for career development. You need somebody who will tell you that my friend, you are slacking. Or if you do this way, might not end you well. If you do it that way, I think, because usually a mentor sees far beyond the mentee. So you have to be intentional with your relationship with your mentor. And I always encourage young professionals to actively seek mentors. You have to actively seek mentors. Be intentional about it. Fine, your organization can give you a mentor, but you yourself, you must find yourself a mentor, one that works for you, one that you think you can communicate constantly with, one that you can talk to about almost everything, one that you can be vulnerable in front of, one that can direct you as to what to do. You need that honest feedback because sometimes the things that we like to do are not the things that necessarily will push us forward. You need a mentor's guidance. That is the little piece that I'll add to it.
Wow, this is so enlightening. Thank you so much, Ms. Judith. Thank you, Engineer Peace. Thank you for making us understand that every young person needs a sponsor, someone who speaks for you, even in rooms you do not find yourselves in. And it is also important that we have intentional mentorship. We must find mentors who we can reach out to easily, who we can relate to. And we must be open to honest feedback. That's really, really administered to me. I appreciated that fact a lot because as young people, I realized that a lot of us don't like it when we are being told the truth. So thank you for emphasizing that we need to be open to receiving honest feedback from our mentors. Thank you so much. So to our next question, what practical actions should organizations and industry leaders take to accelerate the advancement of women in technical leadership and executive roles within the energy sector? I'd like to start with Engineer Peace.
Thank you, Ajua. So, one, by creating transparent and competitive support for women in STEM, a company should be able to create scholarship programs, very competitive ones, transparent. If you are a lady and you feel you are good at this, you are passionate at that, you have the grades for it, as low as the senior high school level, because from my experience, that is usually when women, or in general, including men, you take a lot of decisions and you begin to discover and understand yourself. And so if companies are able to roll out scholarship programs and sponsorships on a clear level where students are allowed to apply and go through a series of processes and get the sponsorship, it will help a lot of women to grow and to find themselves in technical areas. Because sometimes the passion is there, the intelligence is there, but they lack the finances to be able to find themselves in these areas. Secondly, I would want to add that the issue of workplace cultural bias needs to be really dealt with, because out there they tell you that we are way past it, but my colleague would support me on this issue that we are not past it. Sometimes as a lady, you find yourself in a room, and even before you start, you've already been misjudged. You are already seen as you are there due to undue advantages, or maybe just because you are a lady. But if they are able to deal with some of these cultural biases and create that conducive working environment, women would be able to go far, and women would be able to stay in the energy industry, because a lot of women start in the energy industry, but along the line, they switch to other places because they feel that they are unable to really adapt to what is expected of them in that industry. And so if some of these things are done, I think it will go a long way to help us as women. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Engineer Peace. We'd like you to add your voice, Ms. Judith.
Thank you, Sapoma. Organizations have a very important role to play in accelerating women's advancement in the industry. And one key thing is ensuring that women have equal access to critical projects and leadership opportunities. Because as my colleague said, the unconscious biasness in the industry is real. Because this is an industry where it was only men. Women became part of the industry not long ago. Even the global stats says that only 20% of women in Ghana, only 20% of the workforce of the oil, the energy industry is made of women. Even this, we've advanced so much. So there's an unconscious biasness there. So the organization must take it upon themselves to give equal access to critical projects and leadership opportunities to women. Often careers are shaped by the kind of assignment that you're exposed to. if you are not, if you in fact you become what you see or what you practice. So if you don't have access and if you don't have opportunities to some of these technical projects, there's no way you are going to develop. You'll be in the organization for 20 years and may still not have any idea about the technical vision or the technical aim of the company. Also, the organizations must also invest in structured mentorship and leadership development for women. Because, as I said earlier on, this is an industry where it was like a boys' school. And then later, some ladies were admitted into it. So once you've brought a different crop of people who are in the minority, you have to have structured programs for them. So structured programs tailored at bringing them to come to your level. And just as importantly as organization must create these supportive environments, that women can thrive, we must also contribute. I was talking to somebody about a certain position that has been given to a woman, and what the man said was that, oh, she doesn't really have control over the sector that she's been put in, and that was sad. It was saddening because this is an industry where we don't get these opportunities, and when these opportunities too are given, sometimes the women slack a little. So, in as much as the industry is putting structured programs for the women to live up to expectation, we must also pull ourselves, because when organizations combine opportunity, support, and accountability, you begin to see real progress. So that's the little piece that I would like to add to that.
Well, thank you so much, Engineer Peace and Miss Judith, for those insightful perspectives. Thank you for highlighting the work on the cultural bias, and then there's the need for competitive scholarship as well. And organizations must work on giving equal access to everyone in the organization. And organizations must also invest in structured leadership and mentorship. Thank you so much for those insightful perspectives. We'd like to move on to our next question. As the energy sector evolves with renewables being introduced or gaining more grounds with digital technologies and new business models, how can women position themselves to lead in this next phase of the industry? How can we position ourselves as women? You mentioned that in your earlier submissions. We'd like you to delve deeper into that, how women can position themselves to lead in this next phase of the industry. Engineer Peace, over to you.
I'd like to begin by quoting a statement that the late Jim Rohn once said, that work hard on yourself that you do on your job. You are responsible for your own growth as a woman. In as much as the organization tries its best, and some organizations will not invest in your growth, you as a lady needs to know what you are passionate about. You need to know where you want to go, to have a clear vision and invest in yourself. If it means taking courses that you would have to pay with your own money, go ahead and do it. Because at the end of the day, the playground is not as fair as you think it is. People are growing. And as my colleague said, automation is not waiting for anybody. The oil industry changes by the second, and you need to be ready for it. How can you do this? You invest in yourself, invest your time, invest your money, invest your resources in yourself. And you also need to be focused, because as you advance in your career, you get to face a lot of challenges that if you are not so focused and self-motivated, at the end of the day, you would give up. So you will need more of that personal conviction to be able to make it. If you study women that have already made it down history, women like Madam C.J. Walker and one woman I admire a lot, Florin Shiwalakija. None of them sat down and just waited for life to happen to them. The opportunities are out there, but you need to prepare yourself. You need to be make yourself competitive to be able to take advantage of them. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Peace. Miss Judith, what do you think as women we need to do? How can we position ourselves to lead?
So my colleague has said a lot. You see, the energy industry is going through a major transformation right now. And I actually think that this creates a lot of opportunities for women. The future of the sector is becoming much more multidisciplinary. It's not just one fixed engineering cap that is taking all. No, we are now seeing the integration of geoscience engineering, digital technologies, sustainability, and new energy systems. Professionals who can connect to these areas will play a very important role in shaping the future of our industry. So my advice is to stay strong in your technical foundation, but remain open to learning about emerging areas, whether it's carbon capture and storage, energy transition, and digital application in energy data analytics. Like then how there are so many things that the industry is evolving. You need to abreast yourself with it so that when the opportunity comes, just jump on it. The next generation of leaders will be those who can adapt, learn continuously, and also think beyond the traditional borders. So, what I would say is the energy industry is evolving. Hop onto the new trends. If you go to America and everybody is talking about tech, 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 tech. Oh, I'm going into tech, I'm going into this. Pick an interest in it. Pick an interest in it and abreast yourself with it. And very soon you'll be the one that everybody will be calling.
Thank you so much, my wonderful panelists. Thank you for emphasizing the fact that we need to work hard on ourselves as women. If you find yourself in an organization and in an industry where they are not willing to invest or they are not investing much in you, we must learn to take it upon ourselves to invest in ourselves. We must learn to be focused on ourselves, prepare ourselves, and to also be open to learning, because our industry is evolving and there are new trends, there are new technologies coming up. It's now multidisciplinary. So we need to pick an interest and we need to hop on new trends. Thank you so much for all that you have shared so far. We will be concluding our panel discussion soon. So as we begin to conclude today's discussion, we have spoken about opportunity, we have spoken about growth, mentorship, and leadership within a rapidly evolving energy sector. Now, but behind every milestone is a personal journey and moments that accelerate growth and shape leadership. So before we close, we'd like to invite each of our panelists to briefly reflect on their professional journey. So looking back, my panelists, what opportunity, what decision, what moment accelerated your growth in the energy industry? And what advice would you like to give to women who are seeking to move from visibility to velocity in their own careers? I'd like to start with Engineer Peace.
Okay, so personally for me, I would say the defining moment in my career was during my national service time when I had a whole lot of opinions coming in about how a woman is supposed to be, who she's supposed to be, and the fact that women cannot make it in certain technical areas without making certain compromises. And I had enough. So I wanted to find out how true it was so that I could take a decision on whether I'm staying in the industry or I'm switching and all that. So I went online and as my colleague mentioned in her submission, I looked for personal mentors. I didn't have the opportunity that most of us are having right now in such a discussion like this. So I went online and I deliberately looked for women who have made it in various industries, in politics, in business, in oil and gas. I looked for them. I studied their stories. And by the time I was done, I got so motivated to the point where I decided that this is it for me. And I was going to stay where I am and in my own little way, leave a legacy behind for a lot of other women to come along. I would also want to just offer this advice to a lot of the young professionals that at the beginning of your career, you should seek for knowledge, seek for experience. In as much as we all need money, look, seek for experience. Because if you look for at most job advertisement, they will stay there 5 years, 10 years, 15 years experience. It's not about how much your first job is paying you. Because one thing that I have noticed in mentoring most of the young people in this generation is that you all look for jobs that will pay you huge. Your first job, you want to take, in fact, people quote minimum, oh, Auntie Peace, the list I want to take is 10,000. After that, I'm not ready to take any other offer. The question is, what do you have to offer? What experience do you have to offer? But if you gather the experience, if you do jobs that will build your capacity, a time will come where you would be the one deciding how much you want to be paid and what kind of job you feel you are comfortable doing. And so let's understand the principles that in life, it is about a process, it's a journey and not a sprint. So you take your time and you grow one step at a time till you get to that point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Peace. Miss Judith.
Mhm. Okay. So when I look back at my journey, one thing that truly accelerated my growth was saying yes to opportunities that stretched me. When I stepped foot in GNPC, at time the oil industry wasn't even that popular. People even didn't know about it. Even though I grew up in the mining community, I knew I wanted to work in the mines, but there was a shift. I came to do my national service in GNPC, and then the department I was put in, research and geoscience, and one of my bosses mentioned to me that, oh, you are going to be a geochemist. Trust me, I had never heard geochemistry in my life. That was the first time I heard about it. And I didn't even know what it was about. So he just said, oh, go to the library. There's a book on geochemistry. Go and pick it. Petroleum geology and geochemistry. Go and pick it and go and read about it. So this was an opportunity that stretched me. I went to UCC. Nobody talks about the oil industry there. And even at time, it was even worse. Even though those coming from maybe Legon, and Legon knew a bit about the oil industry because the geologists were always coming to do their internship at GNPC. The tech people didn't know about the oil industry. All that they knew was mining. So I was just thrown into a space where I had no idea the language they were speaking. Everything that they were talking was like gibberish to me. It was so new, but I took it upon myself to understand what it was. I remember one guy came to stand by me and told me that, hey, now you can be sure with me, where did papa? We couldn't do it on second degree when they introduced that to it. Was so difficult. But because of what he said, I decided to challenge myself to do it. So I had to do it. Many of these moments, sometimes they can be intimidating at first, but I've learned, and with growth, really happens in your comfort zone. You have to stretch yourself. Growth happens when you step forward and take a challenge and trust that you are willing to grow into a particular role. You need to challenge yourself and learn it. Know that you can do it. You have the capability of doing anything you want to do. I went for a program yesterday, and the man who was giving appellation said that the only species that are able to carry a human being around their waist for 9 months, 9 solid months, when men cannot even lift a child for like an hour. A woman will carry another human being around for 9 months, run with it, cook with it, sweep with it. We will do everything with it. So we are a special breed of people. There's nothing that we cannot do. There's nothing that when we set our mind to, we cannot do it. So, I mean, and I've also been fortunate to have mentors and supportive colleagues. I'm one person who is open to learn new things. So, you get a mentor, be open to new opportunities. For women who want to move from visibility to real momentum in their careers, my advice is to keep investing in your competence. Stay curious, seek out mentors, and do not hesitate to raise your hands when opportunities come. When they are looking for people to volunteer to do stuff, volunteer yourself. Don't sit down and be waiting for somebody to come and push you. Oh, this person can do it. Being shy is not cute. Sometimes women, we think that being shy is cute. It's not cute at all. There's nothing cute. There's nothing that is cute about being shy. Everybody is shy, but when opportunities come, present yourself, push yourself forward. Even when you are not 100% sure that you can do it, go and do it. See, guys take opportunities anytime it happens. Even if they are 20% prepared, they will tell you they are ready to take on the task. Let's break away from our comfort zone and be ready to take up any opportunity that comes to us. Remember that you don't have to feel completely ready before you take a step. Because in many careers, including mine, the most defining moment happen when preparations meet courage and you choose to step forward anyway. Have the courage, step forward anyway, and trust me, one day you'll be the one sitting on this panel and being interviewed. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, my panelists. Thank you for reiterating the fact that it is not cute. Being shy is not cute. Thank you for letting us understand that in as much as we all need money, it is important that in our early stages of building our careers, we seek for knowledge and experience instead of just looking out for money. We must always ask ourselves, why should we deserve the kind of pay we are asking for, we are demanding? And it is important to stretch ourselves by taking on new opportunities and learning to volunteer. So thank you so much for all that you have shared. I believe we've had such an informative and educative session. Thank you so much, Engineer Peace, and thank you, Madam Judith and Poma. Thank you for all you have shared. I would open the floor now for questions and answers. So we have the floor to ask questions. So if you have a question, you may raise your hand. You can also type in the chat box and I'll read it out to our panelists. Also, there will be a feedback survey, or there is a feedback survey we are supposed to respond to in the chat box. Let's please do well to give our feedback, respond to the survey. Let us know how you found the session, what you think about the session we have had. Give us your feedback so we can do better with our meetings. Thank you so much. So the link is already in the chat box. It has been posted by Mr. Wonseba. So please let's do all to fill the survey. So we are open for Q&A. I see a hand lifted. Mr. Patrick, please, you have the floor. You can go ahead.
Alright. Thank you very much for such an opportunity. I really enjoyed the discussion and then I work with the peace and I will go to work with this. why even this how
Hello, Mr.
kind of
Patrick.
thing
Please, can you hear me? Hello,
in
Mr. Patrick.
my but I would like to uh,
Hello,
yeah,
Mr. Yes, looks like your line is really breaking. We would appreciate if you could type it in the chat box instead, because we can't seem to hear you very clearly. If you could please type it out because of your network, we would really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, I see another hand raised. Mr. John,
is it
please
okay
go ahead.
now?
Mr. Patrick, I think we can give it a try. Let's see. Yes, please. Okay, Mr.
Yeah,
Patrick.
hello, good afternoon.
Okay, good
Good
afternoon.
evening,
Alright,
Sapoma.
I said, can you hear me now? Is it okay now?
Mr. Patrick, please help us by typing in the chat box. I'll read it out so we can get your question clearly. Your network is still quite unstable. Mr. John can ask his question. Thank you.
All right, can you confirm if I'm audible? Hello, can you confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, please. We can. Yes, please. You're audible, Mr. John.
Yeah, mine isn't a question, but just to commend our panelists for such a powerful engagement. My name is John, and I'm the Young Professionals Deputy Chair, like Akutu. So I think this evening session has been very powerful. I'm actively busy working, but the contributions from our panelists kept me listening and paying attention very well. And Sapoma, thank you very much for the moderation. You've actually spoken very well with your mode of moderating the program. And I think, yeah, the young professional, the guys on the call, even though this topic concentrate more on hyping up the young ladies in the YP department for them to be very active and proactive while seeking knowledge in the energy space. So I believe the young ladies here have taken a lot of cue, but we the young guys too are also learning from behind. It's very interesting having young ladies very knowledgeable to work with in the energy space. There are a whole lot of things that you can learn from a colleague young lady, even right from classroom to even in the industry field. So it's just to commend the panelists. They've spoken very well to my liking, and I think this evening's session has been very great. All right.
Thank you so much, Mr. John. We appreciate your feedback. Thank you for the commendation. We appreciate it. Our wonderful panelists, we are giving you a double shout out. Thank you so much for all your contributions, your insightful and impactful contributions, just like Mr. John has said. Mr. Patrick? Okay, I think we have a question in the chat box by Mr. Vincent Opoku-Mensah. So he says, in highly technical energy environments where what concrete mechanisms, can organizations implement to ensure that the increased visibility of women engineers lead to real career acceleration rather than symbolic representation? We'd like to hear from our panelists. Engineer, please.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Mr. Vincent, for the question. So I think that organizations should include women's accelerated growth in their policies, specifically when it comes to HR, from HR's end, looking at when it's time for a woman to have kids, what structures are there to enable her give birth, work, come back to work, and then not get sabotaged, in quotes, but given equal opportunities to grow. Because a lot of women, when it gets to that stage in your life, you realize that by the time you come back from maternity leave, then it's like you've lost a lot of time. And when promotions and other stuff come, you are not really qualified for them. You have to go through a whole lot of issues. But if there is a clear-cut, communicated, and well-transparent procedure for women right from the time of employment, I think it will go a long way. Secondly, I would want to add that organizations shouldn't enable that culture of intentional and unintentional bias. Men should stop being too sweet and too gentle to we women, especially when it comes to field work. When you make statements like, oh, she's a lady, relax, don't stress yourself. When you do things like that, a lot of women tend to take advantage of it and stay. And you, the same men, will end up complaining that, oh, when they bring women to this particular department, at the end of the day, when there's field work, we the men have to struggle and do it all alone. No. As long as the woman is in the company, the organization needs to ensure that we are all given equal opportunities. We are all given equal tax. Let everybody do their own. If we fail as women, we would learn from our mistakes. And we would grow. And we would grow. But that special treatment shouldn't be there. Lastly, I would like to add that women should be given, as my colleague rightfully said, that equal platform for technical projects. If there is an opportunity for people to travel for a particular kind of training or conference or anything, as long as she meets the set requirements, she meets the set qualifications and everything, let her go. Don't say that, oh, she's a woman, so maybe she might not be able to deal with this and this and that. No. Give us that equal platform and let us prove ourselves to you as to whether we are deserving of it or not. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Engineer Peace. That was very insightful. Thank you for addressing the question. And we have another question in the chat box by our chair, SB Ghana section chair, Mr. Richard Amorin. He says, if your immediate boss is toxic towards you because he or she feels threatened by your capabilities, how do you manage your communication? He or she is your assigned mentor. I guess I'll direct this to Miss Judith.
Thank you very much, Safoma. I was reading the question and what just came to mind I know not everybody is a Christian, but there's a scripture that says, in all you're getting, get wisdom. This is where a lot of wisdom would have to come into play, because whether you like it or not, the person is your boss. So you have to manage it. There's also a way in which we have conversations that may not come across. When there are some people who have an intimidating appearance, they're also intelligent naturally, they have the capabilities, and it's human for an immediate boss to feel threatened when they see somebody like that, whether we like it or not. When you're a human being and somebody you are grooming appears to have more potential than you, naturally you'd be a bit jealous. So you, the subordinates, must apply wisdom. Instead of challenging your boss in a meeting, you would rather make it a suggestion. After he's done talking, instead of saying that, no, that's not how we are supposed to do it, just say, oh, in addition to what my boss said, I think we can also look at it in this angle. You manage your communications with him. And when you know something and you feel that your submission is better than theirs, you don't rub it in. You can even make it look like it's their suggestion. You can even make it look like it's their idea. So you have to manage it. You have to apply a lot of wisdom, because once you are still in the company, once you are still working with the person is forever your boss. Unless you have a political hand that will come and move you above him or her. If you don't have that kind of political you are still going to be under this person, and you want to be wise enough to secure your position or your job. So you have to manage it. You have to be wise. Apply wisdom. You don't rub it in. When you feel that you have a submission that is more powerful to his, you don't wait and then go and present it at a meeting where his superior will be. No, you can have a discussion with him, and you can even let him go and take the credit. He won't take the credit for long, because it can only work up to a point. They will get to a point where they will need further more clarification on it, and he will fall back on you. So, as I said, in all you're getting, get wisdom. You have to manage it with wisdom. Thank you. Oh, I think Sapoma has gone off. Okay, so there's another question in the chat box that says, I'll take over from Sapoma since she's gone off. This has been a great discussion. Massive appreciation to the panelists. How should emotional and sexual abuse be handled at a workplace, especially from a superior where being vocal is intimidating? Yes, this is something very important. When the sexual harassment or the abuse is coming from an immediate boss, the immediate boss too may have a boss. You must find a way to bring it up or bring it to book. If there's somebody who is superior to the person and somebody that you trust, you find a way of speaking to the person. And also, in fact, another thing is that sexual abuse is actually a crime, it's criminal. So you can be bold enough to report it to the nearby police station, or you can go to your superior, but make sure that that person is somebody who is trustworthy. Because sometimes when it's a company where a cartel of people do that, maybe the next person you're even going to report to is the Ubuntia in the workplace sexual abuse scandal. So try and investigate around and see if the person is not so much involved in that, and then report to the boss's superior. If the boss doesn't have a superior, make it a police case and trust that you find another job, because sometimes the only option you have is to report it. Sexual harassment is a crime now in Ghana's law. If the boss has a boss, report it to the boss's boss or speak to HR about it.
I would also want to add to what my colleague just said, that when it comes to issues of sexual harassment, most of the ladies on this platform would tell you that they've all had their own personal experiences with it. But it gets to a point where when you do not have evidence about the harassment, at the end of the day, it will look like you are just trying to get your boss into trouble. And so in all his advancements, try and make sure that you have evidence of it, either text message or whatever. If it is about physical touch and all that, make sure that you are able to remember when it happened, report it. It is nothing to be ashamed of. Most ladies feel like, hey, what if I report him and then at the end of the day, I lose my job? My dear, it is better to report it. And that person knows that if it is reported, he or she stands to be in a bigger trouble than you. So from personal experience, I would communicate it to you that, boss, this and this and this you are doing, I do not like it. I would really appreciate it if you put an end to it. If it continues, get the person reported. Do not feel shy about it and do not take it for granted. Lastly, I would want to say that most of the times we women, we play a role in it. We indulge men even without knowing that we are doing it. And we should try and refrain from such things, and then make sure that personally you have certain principles that will make it very difficult even for your boss or any man around you to be able to feel like they can harass you sexually. Some of the men on this platform would let you know that before a man decides whether or not to do that, they check you to see if you are somebody who would agree. They don't just do it vigorously from the beginning. Sometimes it starts with a subtle comment. Oh, I like the way your ass is. And we women, you think they are complimenting you. You laugh over it. Next time, it is not I like the way your ass is. He advances. And before you realize, it gets out of hand. So cut it short and cut it off very early at the initial stages. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last thing I would like to add to that particular topic, it's a very it's an emotional topic for a lot of women, because if you pick 9 out of 10 women that you pick have gone through harassment of a sort. It's real, it happens. And one thing I also like to tell young women is that decenter sex in sexual harassment. See, sexual harassment, if it's a shame, it's a shame for both the man and the woman. If it's a shame, if the men don't carry it around their head like it's a shame, then you too don't carry it around your head like it's shameful. So be bold enough to talk about it. A lot of times we are scared and we are shy that decenter that. Decenter that feeling. Be bold enough. If we be harassed, talk about it. Report it. Don't be afraid at all. And as my colleague says, sometimes they watch the kind of person they send it to. But some men too are unscrupulous. They take it to everyone, every person. Some people are indisciplined. Some women too are unscrupulous. They take it to every man. Any form of sexual harassment or abuse, please report it. Don't be shy don't be shy. Do not be shy. I'm telling you, if the other party is not shy, you too don't be shy about it. Talk about it. Don't sit down and keep it in you for you to be harassed. Your sisters will be harassed, your children will be harassed. Talk about it. Make sure you talk about it. Report it. Don't be afraid at all. Omoka se wa say I wa reporting. You understand? Ladies, please, decenter sex from your life. Decenter it. It's not shameful. It's not shameful at all. An experience that somebody enjoyed. They want to shame you for it. No. Be bold enough to talk about it when somebody is abusing you. Talk about it. Report it.
Well, thank you so much, dear panelists. Thank you for letting us know that we have to be bold to report any form of sexual misconduct. Okay, please. Are there any more questions?
Yes, I can see a question. What one key challenge do women face in male-dominated workplace, and what do women expect from men to do in order to help them move from visibility to velocity? Mr. Patrick, we thank you too for your time, and we thank you for all the questions that you keep raising. In my experience, one of the biggest challenges women face in male-dominated environment is the stereotyping. If men are able to refrain from that, and then look, a woman is a woman, a man is a man. A woman can never be a man, and a man can never be a woman. We are not saying that we want to rub shoulders with you, but don't look at us as we are weak and inferior people. Don't look at us as we are less intelligent than you are. As long as we are both in that company, we are both assigned to that job, that stereotyping needs to stop. You need to give women the clean slate. Let them earn your respect. Don't give it to us. Let us earn it. Because in a male-dominated environment, whatever a man does, a woman needs to do double or even triple of that to be able to attain the same respect. I have had so many bad experiences with that. But if men are able to refrain from that, it will go a long way to encourage us. And men also need to understand that women, we are very complex. Sometimes the person might be going through a whole lot of personal issues, not emotional per se, but maybe she's pregnant or maybe she's going through her menstrual cycle. You might not know, but if you've noticed that this particular woman, every day, this is her work input, and one particular day, she's not really forthcoming, at least try to talk to her to understand what exactly is happening to her, rather than just assassinating her character or assuming that she's not fit for what she's doing. If men are able to do this, it will go a long way to help us. The next question before my colleague comes in, because of time, the person says that, thank you to the panelists for such inspiring insights and experiences. How do we handle male subordinates who look down on you as a female? How do you navigate a peaceful working environment with males who don't appreciate feminine leadership? Madam Priscilla, I must be honest with you. When they look down upon you, you should see it as an inspiration. You should get motivated about it to want to earn their respect. Look, you cannot stop it from happening, but earn that respect. I will give you a practical example. So in my career, there was a time where I started a new job role, and there were 5 guys, and I was the only lady among them. And then a guy was assigned to train us. Whilst going through the field, every question the guy asked was directed to the other guys. When I try to answer or ask a question, he shuts me down. And he actually told me that he knows that I am there because of undue processes, because as a lady, they were not expecting me to be there. It really hurt me, but I saw it as a motivation. And I told myself that I'm going to make sure that this guy, who is a senior engineer, respects me. And I'm going to earn it, not by disrespecting him. So I made sure that I became good at my job, to the point where one day in a meeting, he asked the other guys why I have advanced so much ahead of them, because there was a task that was given and I was able to perform it in such a way that the others didn't even understand how I did it. From that moment on, he's never tried that thing with me again. And so as a woman, some of these things will happen to you, but don't let it break you down. Make sure that you are good at what you do, and that respect will come to you naturally. And if you're a woman in leadership, it is natural for men to feel like they cannot take instructions from you because of their ego, and because of bad experiences with certain women in leadership who become so disrespectful. And so men make statements like, oh, Obadia, if you give a woman a position to lead, they become disrespectful. Or Mumbushi. No. Make sure that you lead, not from your emotions, not because you want to please them, but lead as a leader should lead. And that respect will come to you naturally. When you speak, my colleague made a statement that command the room. You don't need to shout. You don't need to be rude to command respect. No. Let your presence alone command that respect. And that comes with a lot of knowledge. Even the Bible says that in all your getting, get understanding. Read a lot about leadership. Read a lot about how to lead men. I have worked in a company where I was second after my CEO, and they were all men, and I was the youngest. From the day I started working, I noticed it that these were men that were not ready to take instructions from me. But within 2 months, even the most stubborn guy over there became my friend. And after leaving, till date, they all call me. Because at the end of the day, you need to understand that you are not fighting with them. No. Let them do what they do, but lead. And then that respect will come naturally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Peace. A quick one from Ms. Judith. Anything to
Okay,
add
so
to it?
yeah, so one thing that you need to also understand that there are some men who are stereotypical and would never respect you. Take it. Don't be hurt. Don't be sad about it, because in their nature, they were brought up in environments where only men are in control or only men are in charge. So sometimes it's difficult for them to navigate around a woman leader. Don't let it get you at all. Do what you are supposed to do. With time, they will fall in line. Don't let it bother you at all. Do what you are supposed to do. But in as much as you are doing that, since the kind of cultural setting we find ourselves in, it's so easy for a man to tell a woman that you are disrespectful by the way you talk. Somebody may see the way you talk as disrespecting. Just try your best not to fall into that disrespectful category, and just do your best. Don't let it worry you at all. If you know your technique, that's why I spoke about technical competence. Be technically competent. Learn about leadership. Learn about how to communicate in such an environment. The way you communicate with everyone should be different from how you communicate with such a person, because that person already has a mindset that they are not going to change. So find a way to communicate and manage the person. But don't be sad about it at all. It's part of leadership and part of growing up the ladder. Some people may never accept you, but it's normal. Not everybody will accept you as a leader. Even men will say that in their leadership career, not everybody accepts them as leaders. Don't let it get into you that because you're a woman, they don't accept you. People like that, they don't accept anybody. Be happy. Be yourself. Don't let their insubordination demoralize you at all.
Oh, thank you so much, our wonderful panelist, Engineer Peace, Ms. Judy. Thank you for sharing with us that the only way, literally, is to develop tough skin so that we can withstand all the negativity that may come. They are all work hazards, or let me say industry hazards. So it's important that we learn to develop tough skin to not let these things bother us. Thank you so much. Once again, we are reminded of our feedback survey. If we have not responded to the survey yet, please let's do well to fill the survey so that we can make the best out of our meetings. Your feedback will be greatly appreciated. And we appreciate you so much, our wonderful panelists, for being with us today. We have a few announcements. We have GH BICE pre-conference training, theme Sustainable Energy for Africa, Powering Growth, Innovation and Inclusion, coming off on the 18th and 19th of May 2026 in Accra. Just as the flyer states, it has a registration fees for professional members, 500, non-SPE, 600, and students, 250. Let's make it a point to be there. Also, next week, God willing, on Thursday, 19th March 2026 at 12:30 p.m. GMT, we have an event spearheaded by our Career Guidance and Outreach Committee on understanding the UN SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. It will be moderated by our sister, Ms. Natalie Diofobi Frempong, and now we have our guest speaker, Mr. Evans Frempong. Also, we have our GH BICE conference coming up 20th to 22nd May 2026 in Accra. Guess the venue is yet to be determined. Let's make it a point to note it on our calendars and make it a point to be there. Thank you all so much for today. We'd like to call on Ms. Joycelyn Adomatakra, a member of our editorial team, Young Professionals Committee, to give us the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Hello, please, can I be heard?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and we've all thoroughly enjoyed today's panel discussion. I've really enjoyed myself. For me, my key takeaway is to set very clear career goals for myself, invest heavily in my technical abilities and competencies, and most importantly, and the most profound for me, is to perform excellently in whichever role that I find myself, because whether I like it or not, my performance is important to the young ones coming after me. And so that's really insightful. So on behalf of the leadership of the Young Professionals Committee, I'd like to say a very big thank you to our panelists, Ms. Judith and Engineer Peace, for showing us practical ways to advance our careers and our lives, and also sharing with us nuggets from their personal lives on how to advance our careers and our lives as young men and young women. We are really grateful for taking time off your busy schedules to be with us today. And to our moderator of the day, Ajua Sapoma, thank you so much for bringing order, structure to the meeting and the entire discussion, and for coordinating things so well. And to everybody else who joined, listened, participated, contributed, we say a very big thank you for making time to be here today. And to the organizers of this year's meetings or discussions, we say a very big thank you as well for having our growth and our development in your mind in order to organize such an insightful session for us. May we all continue to grow in our respective fields, and may we all continue to learn as we go along. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joycelyn Adomatakra. Thank you for such a wonderful vote of thanks. Once again, on behalf of SPE Ghana Section, Young Professionals Committee, would like to thank our dear panelists for being with us. Thank you for the wisdom nuggets. Thank you for the insights, for the encouragement. Thank you for teaching us what it means to be a woman in the energy industry and how to defend yourself, how to grow, and how to accelerate from visibility to velocity. We appreciate you so much, Engineer Peter Gambia and Ms. Judith Ampomah-Owusu. Thank you for making it a point to join us. And thank you, everyone of our audience. Thank you all for joining in. We had such an amazing session. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you same time next week. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Bye.